Well, pleasant good afternoon, friends. How's everybody doing today? Thank y'all for being here for the SU Football Weekly with head coach Joe Austin. Week number 9 already. Well, the Pirates coming off a road victory at McMurray, 29-25. Congratulations, Southwestern, on a huge victory on the road this past Saturday up in Abilene. The Pirates are 4-3 overall. They're 3-3 in the ASC. The Pirates trailed at half 14-15, with the defense, though, in that second half making some plays late to help secure that victory. Let's take a look at the highlights.
There's a fake handoff. Throw far side. It's picked off by Southwestern. Going the other way. See you later. Fire the cannons. Touchdown, Pirates. Damian Dawson taking it to the house. He will be sacked in the backfield. Had nowhere to go with the football. And Southwestern comes up with a stop. Garrett Womack leading the ASC in sacks. And he picks up another one. For Womack, that is 7.5 now this season. Fake handoff, Kerr to throw, across the middle, got a man complete at the 45, across midfield, and a first down for the Southwestern Pirates as he finds Anthony Stevens for a first down. Handoff, Castilleja around the left side, trying to break it out. Breaks one tackle across the 5, dives to the end zone. He will be marked just short of the pylon. Southwestern lining up quickly. Kerr takes the snap directly up the middle. He will score. Fire the cannons. Touchdown, Pirates. Man goes into motion. Fake handoff. Slack keeps up the middle. He will walk in, and we got a tie ball game in Abilene. Seconds on the play clock. There's the snap, looking to throw. Getting chased, and he is sacked in the backfield. That'll be a turnover on downs. Shooting through is Major George, and Southwestern's defense holds. Likely the final play of the game. Southwestern sends 6 men back. Ball snapped over the quarterback's head. Garvin fields it. He is sacked, and that will end the ball game. Raise the black flags. Southwestern wins. 29-25 on the road this afternoon.
Well, a great job by our defense. They won the game. They kept us in it. They scored themselves. Our defense won.
Well, once again, let's give it up. Southwestern victorious. You just saw those highlights just a few moments ago. Well, Coach, and we'll jump right into this, a much-needed victory on the road this past Saturday after the drop at UMHB here back at home. But, not to start off on a negative note, but a lot of turnovers in this game, of course. 10 fumbles, 7 of them were lost.
8.
Eight were lost. How did the Pirates overcome that?
Yeah, I said 7 in the postgame because there were so many I lost count. And when they wrote the game report, they wrote 7 lost fumbles, and it turned out to be eight lost fumbles. I'm laughing about it because what else are you going to do? It was really poor. We're now last in the entire nation in fumbles lost, and it's tough to be a good football team when you're doing that. And if it was one player, you could replace a player. We had 6 or 7 different players that fumbled. Just a really tough situation, and we've had 2 games like that. We had our Texas Lutheran game where we fumbled 6 times, and so it's a problem. And so we're working hard on it, but every rep of every practice where we hand a player a football or throw the player a football, it's a repetition where you work on ball security. So you can't say it's not something is not focused on, it's not important or addressed. We just need to continue to coach and continue to play and just keep working on getting better with that. But it's really hard to win when you turn the ball over that times. I think that's probably we have to check with the Elias Sports Bureau, I guess, or the authority on in a dry game, in a 60-degree sunny day with not a cloud in the sky, the most number of fumbles lost in a college football game where the team still wins. And if 8's not the record, it's pretty darn close.
Well, Coach, your defense, of course, making some key plays, including a Damian Dawson defensive touchdown there. A key, and we saw it on the replay just a few moments ago, or on the highlights there, a key defensive stand towards the end of this ball game. Really, in that second half, the defense did what they had to do to secure this victory. Talk about their play. It was exciting for those guys.
We've had to, we've talked about it every week, we've had to evolve and change who we are defensively. And we've turned into a defense that's a bend but don't break. We are, and I'll talk about more of this in last quarter, but just to put it in context, we are, let me find it on my notes. I'm talking about red zone defense. I've got it on my list somewhere. We're one of the best in the nation in red zone defense. We're 5th in the nation in red zone defense. So we're giving up some yards just based on our personnel. We're going to be, we'll talk more in the fourth quarter, we're going to be a 4-1-6. Have you ever heard of that structure?
Have not.
Me either. We're going to be a 4-1-6 defense this week just based on who we are. We started with 19 linebackers. We're down to 8. We've got 3 inside linebackers that can play, but they all play one spot. We're really thin, almost really not any varsity players that are outside positions right now. So we gave up some yards. We gave up a lot more rushing yards than we usually do, but we made some really good stops. So they had the ball within our red zone twice in the last 2.5 minutes. In fact, they had 4th and goal at the 2, and they had a false start to make it 4th and goal at the 7, which helped us. But we stopped them on 4th and goal, and then at the end of the game, they were in the red zone again, and we stopped them on 4th down again. So our defense is really making opportune plays. I think when you talk to our defensive coaches, Coach Kriesel in particular, our defense coordinator, he would say we didn't tackle as well as we would like to. We didn't run to the football and have the energy that we would like to. But we definitely, you can't take away the fact that we had to make the plays in the fourth quarter. We made the plays, and I think that's going to be our style for the last 3 weeks. Not that we're giving up yards in the middle of the field, but if teams can really be diligent, we're gonna make them have to beat us down the field, and then when it gets to the red zone, then we're really going to tighten up and hold people to field goals. We blocked field goals well this year. We've held people to miss field goals. We've created turnovers. I think that's going to have to be our style of defense because we're going to be a 4-1-6 defense, and of those 6 defensive backs, we have a senior, 2 sophomores, and 3 freshmen. So 5 of the 6 are freshmen and sophomores. That's just going to be the scenario that we're in. So the defense, of course, as I said in the interview, did a great job. Of course, all the players, we watched the highlights when we went in our team meeting on Sunday, and they immediately picked up on my demeanor. My arms were crossed, and I was kind of away from Mike a little bit because it was a frustrating game in that we put our defense in so many poor spots. Our quarterbacks fumbled several times. Our running backs fumbled. We dropped what would be a 75-yard touchdown pass. We had a receiver wide open in the middle. So there's a lot of things to really be worried about from a coaching perspective, but that takes nothing away from how our defensive team closed the game. They slammed the door twice. McMurray may have moved into scoring position, but they didn't score, and that's what really matters at the end. They don't record final scores in the final win-losses of the season. They just record win-losses. They don't record halftime scores. We're down by 1 at halftime. And we did enough to make sure we get the victory. Well, Coach, of course, it kind of remains the same. The team playing through adversity all season, battling injuries, but you get the victory here on the road in Abilene. I always like to ask you after every game, what did you tell the team after this one? They fought back. They got the victory. What did you tell them afterwards? I didn't have to tell them much of anything. I mean, they all watched. they were there. We were a very fortunate football team, and take nothing away from McMurray. That's the only team on they haven't won yet. They're 0-7 or 0-8, 0-7, I believe. There's not another team on our schedule that we could have turned the ball over 8 times and won. If we do that this week, we're going to get beat by 70. We're playing the best quarterback in our conference again. I know I guess I'm previewing the fourth quarter, right? I'm keeping people tuned in. But there's not another team that we could have played where we can get away with 8 turnovers. And their coach, after the game, we go up and handshake. And I know Coach Neal pretty well. We played him when he was at Hendrix College, and they started their program the same time as us. So I've known him since then. We played a year. We've kind of talked a little bit between about how it's going. He was their offensive coordinator. And he said, hey, great, great job in pulling it out, and we kind of both made each other feel better. And then they really deserved to win. They created 8 turnovers, and he said, well, we were in the game because you guys didn't play really well. So I guess it was both of us consoling each other. But they really did deserve to win because they created 8 turnovers. and it's tough to overcome that. Again, I don't know that anyone's ever overcome that on a dry day. There may be some game somewhere where it was wet, and both teams turned it over 8 times because they couldn't hang on to the ball, but it's really unusual to be in a game where you can put the ball on the ground 10 times. There was never a feeling on the sideline, I guess to summarize it, where we felt that the game was going to slip away from us. We were down by 1 point at halftime. We gave up. We blew a coverage to get down even further in the third quarter before we tied it up. There was never a sense that it wasn't going to go well. Even though we weren't playing great on offense, it wasn't our best tackling day. It wasn't our best effort day on defense. There was never a sense that we weren't going to make it work. We weren't going to pull it out. And I think that's a sign of resiliency and some maturity, even for a young football team that's playing so many young guys. So that's what I think the really positive takeaway is there was never that sense. There was 1 or 2 guys, of course, as you go through the emotions of the game, we'd have 1 or 2 guys get frazzled, and the big group would pull them back in. So there was never a sense on the sideline that we were in danger and we weren't going to make it work, and that at the end of the day, we weren't going to be the better football team. And I think that's what I want to focus on, what I want to build upon. We can fix a lot of the mistakes. We can fix the fumbles. We can fix the effort and the tackling on defense. But the fact that we didn't fold, we didn't really crack under the pressure, I think that's what we'll rally around and try to carry forward from this game.
Coach, final question for me. You know, of course, traveling a day early to that game, having to bus up to Abilene. Did you feel the team was well rested and, of course, well prepared for this one?
Abilene's an easy trip, but there was a little bit different mood on the offensive bus. I can only be on one bus, right? So I don't know what the defensive bus was like. We were maybe a little bit too loose. Mm-hmm. You guys were a little bit too worried about playing cards and hanging out and watching World Series games on the satellite TV and maybe not focused enough on who we were going to play. And I think a little bit of that showed on Saturday. Now, of course, that's anecdotal. I can't prove that, but I certainly talked to our offensive players about that on Sunday. If there's a correlation between the way they approach things throughout the week and then on the trip on Friday and how we played, and if that's an individualized thing, because I'm sure there were guys on that bus that had laser focus on what we were doing. Mm-hmm. They spent their free time constructive. You know, they weren't distracted. They weren't doing external things. But it seemed to be more of what I could hear from the front seat on the bus, more distracted behavior, more folks worried about things other than going to win a football game. But we'll see. Those are great learning opportunities because there were a ton of underclassmen on that bus that can apply a lot of lessons from that game as we go forward.
Well, Coach, as always, appreciate you here as we wrap up this first segment. Once again, Southwestern victorious. We'll talk to you later on during the show. We've got a few players, or a couple players that we'll interview tonight. Before we break into that next segment, though, let's give it up one more time. Head coach Joe Austin. Thank you, Coach. We'll step aside for just a few moments. Stay with us, friends. SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin continues here on SHN Sports. Gentlemen, welcome back to SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin. Everybody having a good time tonight? A lot of good food out there, I see. Man, I'm always talking about how hungry I get at this show because there's so much good food. Great folks are here. We sincerely appreciate everybody that comes out every week to these shows. Please join me in welcoming now our sophomore defensive tackle, Mr. Nick Hackett. Welcome, Nick. Good to have you, man.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, you know, it seems to be a recurring theme. We talked about injuries, but we're going to keep it positive here with you. It's another recurring theme about hair here on this show. We got to talk about your hair, man. It's a good hairdo. Talk about your hair a little bit, man.
Yes, sir. In high school, we couldn't have long hair, so it was one of those things. We had short hair in high school, and as soon as I graduated, I said, I'm going to keep growing my hair out. So that's what happened.
There it is, man. All right. Well, you're majoring in business, minoring in economics. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And from Lone Oak, Texas, a product out of Lone Oak High School, and a lot of accolades on the recent honor roll. Congratulations on that. The Director of Athletics. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause on that. Director of Athletics Academic Excellence Award in 2018. And just here recently in the spring, you were on the Dean's List. So congratulations on those accolades. Before we really dig into it a little bit more, what was it like growing up in Lone Oak and playing high school ball, man?
It was great growing up in Lone Oak. It's one of the best places ever. My freshman year, I played with Devin Shaw. So, we were real close. And it's a very small town, population 598, and, there's not a lot to do, but the few things that you do have to do, you do them a lot, fishing, hunting, and then going up there and just playing football with your friends. So.
What is that, 2A school there?
It's a 3A.
3A now, okay,
3A.
Awesome, man. So, growing up in a small town, and, of course, your family, one sibling, your sister. Tell us about your sister.
My sister, Allison, yeah. She actually graduated a year early, and she's in cosmetology school in Austin.
Awesome,
so she's
man.
pretty close. So,
awesome, man. And you guys get along pretty good.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Awesome. Well, hey, and another special announcement, and I'll let you make this. There was a special birthday this week.
Yes. Happy birthday to my mom. I love you, and thanks for watching the show.
Awesome. Happy birthday, Mom, out there. Well, we'll talk about, last week. It was a tough contest. You guys victorious. You got the victory. Defense had some huge plays to secure that victory. Kind of walk us through that game.
Yeah, so, anytime that you're out there for most of the plays on defense, you're going to get tired and stuff like that. And so they did have some good drives on us, but I think overall we definitely pushed back, and we held it when we had to. And so that was we did very well. I know Major George had a great sack there towards the end of the game to really secure the win for us, and that was Major.
As a sophomore, who's some of the leadership on the team that you look up to, man?
We have tons of leaders on our team. I know, especially in my position, I look up to Grant Mitchell, DT, who's ahead of me, and I look up to Nick Smith, Garrett Walmack, Hayden Smith, Chris Crawford. We just have so many leaders on our defense.
Well, as we continue to talk to Nick Hackett, Nick, what's this season been like for you? There's been some ups and downs, but you guys have came out here and, of course, holding above 500 overall and still in the conference looking fairly okay. Still got a few games to play here, trying to get those wins. What has this season been like for you so far?
This season's been great. You always look at injuries because they're going to happen every year, and it's going to be the next person up. And I think on defense and offense, we've done a great job of just the next person stepping up and being ready, being prepared.
Your role on the team, what's expected of you, Nick?
As a defensive tackle, I'm expected to, make sure the linemen don't get any push, make sure those A-gaps are clogged up, and when I can, make the tackles.
What have you noticed, this team? Of course, you played last year as a freshman, but this year getting some playing time here again in your second year. What have you noticed from last year transitioning over to this year now?
I definitely noticed that I feel a lot more comfortable in my movements and in knowing the defense. Last year, whenever they would call on the defense, it would take me a minute or two to really get it down. But now it's just immediate. I know where I'm going. I know what's going on. And I just feel a lot more confident this year.
Regarding your play, where do you feel like are some areas that maybe you can improve on? Still early in your career here at Southwestern. Yes,
I can definitely get a little bit quicker. That's for sure. I need to work on my pad level. And those are two things that I'm really trying to work on for this year and next year.
Still a lot of time left, only a sophomore, still got the junior and senior year ahead of you.
Yes,
Does that seem like it's far off?
It does right now, but I just know that in 2 years I'm going to be looking back on this and thinking, wow, it was 10 seconds. So.
That's the way it goes, man. Where do you want to be after college? What's an ideal job for you? Where do you want to be?
I'd like to be a financial analyst at a corporation, so I'm just looking at doing some internships this summer and trying to find a place for me.
Have you had any internships yet? Or no?
I have not yet. No,
so nothing yet. All right.
Yet.
So if anyone out there need an internship, this is your guy. So we'll continue to help, support you guys and where you're heading in your career. I always ask this every player now, every week. What does it mean to you to be a Southwestern University Pirate, man?
What it means to be is actually being relentless, because in this team, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have people that you love, people that you may disagree with, but every single person here is going to fight till the end, and we're going to keep going at it, whether we're losing by 20 or whether we're winning by 50. We're going to keep playing, and we're going to play as a team.
East Texas Baptist coming up this Saturday. We're back here at home. What's the preparation been like for this game?
The defense is flying around. Like you said, we're doing a 4-1-6, and so, it's a little bit different, but we're getting a hold of it, and we're going to definitely take it to them.
Awesome. And, and to go back, I think this could be our year, because you go back to Southwestern when things were reinstated in 2013, 0-6. And so, what's going through your mind on that? Just get out there and get the win?
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to go out there, and we're going to get the win this weekend for
awesome.
Sure.
Come on, man. That's what we're getting it started, man.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
Camera right there straight in front of you. Who do you want to say hello to tonight as we close out this segment?
I'll say hello to my mom, my dad, my girlfriend, my sister, and all my buddies.
Awesome. One more time, can we please give it up for Nick Hackett, another great young man here at Southwestern. Appreciate you, Nick, being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Well, stay with us, friends, as we will interview another player. SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin continues here in a few moments. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin. Everybody doing good tonight? Let's thank the Sheraton. Thank y'all for having us as always every week. We never take the opportunity to be here for granted. We sincerely appreciate the Sheraton. But now joined by senior offensive tackle, Mr. Charles De La Rosa. Charles, good to have you here, man.
It's good to have you too. It's
awesome.
Sophomore.
Sophomore. What
Yes,
did I
sir.
say? Senior?
Yes, sir.
See, and we were talking about glasses before we came on here, and I don't wear mine during the show, and the O looked like an R. So thank you for the correction.
Yeah,
man.
of course.
Hey, some academic honors for you as well, including the Dean's List. Congratulations on that, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Had a great time here at Southwestern. From Burleson, Texas, All Saints Episcopal School, and 2 siblings.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit
siblings.
about your siblings, man.
Let's see here. I'll start with my older sister, Amanda. She's 29 years old. She's about to be 30. But recently got engaged over the summer. So congratulations. I'm really excited for the wedding whenever it comes up. But, yeah, she's my idol. I look up to her all the time. Whenever we were young, we always argue, but I feel like that's just a sibling thing. And also my younger brother, love him to death, Adam De La Rosa. He's going to All Saints as well. So of course, he's going to be able to know the coaches and some of the teachers over there. So hopefully I led a good path for him over there.
Charles, talking about your older sister who, we'll just look at the camera, who you admire more than anything on this earth. What did you tell your future brother-in-law? You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
I mean, his name's Ryan. Ryan's amazing. He's a cool guy. We both get along very well in some areas. But, I mean, whenever he asked the question, I was down for it.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, hey, growing up in Burleson, attending All Saints Episcopal, what are some of your best memories from there, man?
Definitely. I have really good friendships from there. I don't know if my friends are watching. They're probably doing something else. But, made some really good friends. A lot of great memories from playing football. Made some good teacher friends as well. They're awesome. But, it was a great experience, and I'll always enjoy it.
And just to go back, not to kind of jump around, but talking about your family, your dad may be watching tonight, so tell him hello, man.
Yeah, what's up, Dad, Mom, Grandma, Grandpa? They're in town finally from Cali. So, hello.
Awesome. Give it up for the De La Rosa family who's joining us, man. Appreciate you guys. It's your second year here at Southwestern as well. What's your journey been like so far here at this wonderful school, man?
Academically wise, it's been a journey. My first semester here, it was definitely a little bumpy. But, I got to talk to some people and talk to the football players, people in the pro throw. And, the second semester came around, and I worked hard, put my head into the books, and got onto the Dean's List, which was awesome. Football-wise, it's amazing this year compared to last year. It was just I definitely know the plays a lot more, I can say.
Awesome, man. Well, going from Burleson to here, how'd you find out about Southwestern? How'd you get connected to the university and the team?
James Smatt was a football player here. He graduated last year, and we both went to the same high school. So I didn't know James very well whenever I first came in, but as the season went out, we made a pretty good bond. I remember meeting Coach Ross a few times whenever he visited the high school. He was a really awesome guy. And so that's how I came to Southwestern, just great connections, great people. And, I'm having a great time.
On the offensive, you're sitting there with your offensive team, sophomore. Who are some guys that you look up to on that side?
Definitely TJ Vela. He's probably the biggest leader on our offensive team, on the offensive side. David Brandenburg, he knows how to just put the team in focus. Jared Wiggins, he's a really great guy. Shout out Jared, I know you're watching. And it's just we all have a tight connection, especially on the offensive line. Today, if no one knows, it's Thick Man Thursday at Whataburger. So definitely be there shortly after this.
Awesome. I love talking to you guys because we're always somehow it always alludes to food, man. So thanks for bringing that up. And I just want to point out one thing from last week, and we won't dwell on that too much. It was a victory, a great victory there at the end. But as you know, of course, a lot of turnovers in that ball game. What was going on? The mindset of the offense. Kind of tell us a little bit about that, and how did the team really hold together and pull out that victory after those turnovers?
Well, it was emotions were flying, especially as the fumbles kept on increasing. But whenever we got into the sideline after a fumble, everyone tried to cheer each other up. We always said, just look to the next play, all right? Just forget about it. It happened, so what? Just move on, But we overcame it. We came out with the victory, and that's what matters.
A lot of times you guys, of course, on the line, and it's tackle position, you don't show up on the stat sheet.
Oh, no.
But talk about just how important your role is there, protecting your guys in those skill positions and really helping them out.
Well, I mean, that's what we're there. That's what we're there for. Our main focus is to protect the QB whenever he drops back and throws the ball, and always stay on our blocks, no matter what. So just try to stay in front of the guy in front of you, get your assigned block. Of course, that takes into account with your steps and speed. But other than that, I mean, that's our job, just protect the guy with the ball.
As far as your play individually, where do you think you maybe can improve on?
I mean, I'm still a sophomore. I'm still learning things. Of course, my steps can get better. I can get faster, of course. Know the plays more than just from my position, but from others, especially from tailbacks and fullbacks as well, just knowing where they're going to block as well.
Well, so far through this season, what's excited you so far? You know, we're 8 weeks in, coming up here already. I can't believe we're already, hitting that 9th week. What's been exciting for you?
Just being able to play, just putting on those pads every Saturday, just knowing that you're going to give it your all just with all your brothers out there. And just know you're going to hit the person in front of you, and just have a blast.
I always like when you guys say, hit the person in front of you, not next to you, because I'm sitting next to you. So, I know what you're saying, man.
Right.
Well, hey, we're facing an East Texas Baptist University team. Very tough, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Southwestern 0-6, looking for that first victory since the program reinstatement. Talk about the preparation for you and heading into this weekend.
When I feel like this week, it was a very energetic week, especially with this cold front coming in. But I feel like we brought a lot of energy to practice. People were kicking and screaming. Emotions were high. But, we celebrated Tuesdays. We referred to Touchdown Tuesdays, and we get a few of those. And Wednesdays, we score Wednesdays. Man, we were yelling. But, it was cold. We were yelling. Energy was high. I think we're pretty ready for this coming weekend.
I've asked this question to some other guys before, just from your perspective. Playing here in Georgetown, a beautiful facility.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like for you to play at home in such a nice facility and a wonderful community here, especially with Southwestern?
Man, the people are great. The community is great. I love looking at our fans in the stands, just seeing how committed they are to us and how we're just pushing everything just to get them excited and riled up. It's awesome. Really can't find anything else in the world.
Southwestern Pirate, what does it mean to you to carry that name?
It means a lot. We're willing, we're loving, we're mature. We stay focused. We just give it our all, 100%.
Absolutely. Well, just 2 last questions here. And for you, 2 more years to go, only a sophomore. Where do you want to be after college? What's the ideal job for you, man?
If it's possible, maybe go into maybe even do more school. I don't know. I love school, I guess. But I don't know. I haven't really thought about it yet. I'm still looking at doing internships in the future. So I don't know. The future is going to come fast. I know that, but I'm always ready for it.
Well, here at Southwestern, what are some of your hobbies, man? I'll ask you that question before the final. What are some of your hobbies?
Man, some of my hobbies. I don't know. As a student athlete, you don't really get to do much besides eat, sleep, go to workouts, go to practice, study, and maybe those extra 1 or 2 hours just play video games.
There you go, man. Need a little downtime.
Yeah, just a little downtime.
Finally, camera right there on you tonight. Who do you want to say hello to, Charles?
Man, I'll give a shout-out to my parents, grandma, grandpa, of course my siblings. Shout-out to the Big Body brand. All the great alumni that we've had, and that's pretty much it.
And looking forward to that Whataburger night, right?
Oh, of course.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let's give it up for Charles de la Rosa. Thank you, Charles, for being here, man.
Of course.
Another great young man. Appreciate the opportunity to chat with him. Stay with us, friends, as SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin continues here on SHN Sports. We'll be right back here in a few moments. Welcome back to SU Football Weekly as we take a look at what's going on around Southwestern University. This weekend, the cross-country team will face the most strenuous test of their limits at the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference Championships in Colorado Springs, Colorado. On Saturday, the Pirates will run at an altitude of just over 6,000 feet. And while the oxygen will be thinner, the cold temperature forecast in the upper 30s means that what does reach their lungs will create the familiar burn that comes with running on a winter day. Good luck coming up here to Southwestern cross-country teams. The Southwestern women's soccer team added another road win over the Concordia University Texas Tornadoes on Tuesday evening. Up next, the Pirates will play their last conference games before hosting the SCAC Championships in Georgetown. Southwestern will take on the St. Thomas Celts and the Centenary Ladies on Friday, November the 1st, that at 5 p.m., and then again on Sunday, November the 3rd at noon. The women's soccer team currently 13-4 overall. They're 4-2 in SCAC play. Congratulations and keep on rolling, women's soccer. Looking forward to seeing what you ladies continue to do. The Southwestern University Pirates volleyball team lost their 4 sets to the number 9 ranked Trinity University Tigers, that taking place on a neutral court here recently. Lauren Crabtree posted her 3rd triple-double of the season, and Elena McGowan had a strong performance with 11 kills on a .348 hitting percentage, but it wasn't enough to overcome Trinity's front row. With the loss, the Pirates dropped to 19-12 on the season. They finished conference with a record of 12-6. The Southwestern will travel to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania next weekend for matches against number 18 Carnegie Mellon, Ohio Wesleyan, and Jalisco. The SCAC championships begin on Friday, November the 8th, down in Seguin, Texas. For more information of what's going on around athletics at Southwestern, be sure to visit southwesternpirates.com. Well, as always, we couldn't do what we do, and Southwestern couldn't do what they do here in the athletics without the generous support of so many sponsors. As we thank those sponsors now, Gary Brown CPA, John F. Lewis CPA, State Farm, Stephanie Featherstone, BBVA, First Texas Bank, R Bank, Texel Credit Union, Don Hewlett Chevrolet Buick, Antioch Georgetown Church, Grooveline Productions, BOOMTOWN Escapes, Primerica Financial Solutions, Upstream Investment Partners, Stansky's, Georgetown Shirt Company, HEB, Family Emergency Room, St. David's Georgetown, Eagles Wings, the Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center, Georgetown Palace Theater, Chisholm Trail Pediatrics, Minuteman Press Waterboy Graphics, Berkshire Hathaway, Georgetown Commercial Properties, Turnip Seed Real Estate Group, Chick-fil-A, Double Dave's Pizza, Mama Foo's, Mighty Fine Burgers, Fries, and Shakes, Monument Cafe, Rudy's, Schloschke's, Whataburger, CJ's Catering, and CJ's Sports Bar, Wolf Rants, Georgetown Title, Hello Georgetown, Website Mojo, and last but certainly not least, the City of Georgetown. Thank you for all of your generous support and what you do here in the community and with Southwestern University. Stay with us, friends, as we have our 4th segment coming up. We'll talk to Coach Joe Austin. We continue here on SU Football Weekly with Coach Joe Austin. Stay with us. Welcome back to the 4th and final segment. How's everybody doing tonight here at the Sheraton? Thank y'all for being here. As always, as we look ahead and wrap up, Southwestern will face East Texas Baptist University at 1 p.m. here in Georgetown on Saturday. And the Pirates, I've said it a couple of times, not to keep mentioning that, but the Pirates have yet to win a game versus ETBU since the reinstatement back in 2013. Their quarterback, Brian Baca, one of the best players in the conference, certainly the best quarterback. Coach, Southwestern seeking to get their first win versus ETBU since that reinstatement. What's the mindset heading into this game? We know it's a tough opponent.
Well, I think talking to players like Nick Hackett gives you a really good idea. Pretty good week of practice. Hopefully that's going to carry over. Anytime you have some changes in environment in practice always can be good, whether it's really hot or it rains or it's really cold. It just kind of changes the mood. It changes the sense of urgency. So hopefully that'll carry over, and we can have a really great our Friday practice is short, but hopefully we have a great practice tomorrow. And then we can carry things over. I think our guys are excited to play them. We played them week 3 every week of every season, and ETBU is a team that when things are going well, they get on a roll. And even within games, they're a very streaky team. So we've always played them when they're 2-0. They're usually ranked in the top 15, the top 25. And this year they've been beaten a few times, and they're 4-3, and we're 4-3. And hopefully, the fact that they're not, feeling at the top of their game, they're not in the rankings right now. Hopefully that can bode well, and we can get on a roll and pull out the victory for the first time.
Maybe not as strong of a team as they were last year, but still nonetheless a very tough opponent. Calling the games last year, a lot of fun going up to their facility, great host, but now it's on our turf here in Georgetown. Coach, we know about their quarterback. He's one of the best players overall, and if not the best player in the ASC regarding his quarterback play. And what are some positions and other players to keep an eye out for in this one?
Well, it starts with their quarterback. Brian Baca was one of 2 first-team all-conference quarterbacks last year. Fred Hover, our quarterback, and Brian were head and shoulders above everyone else, and everyone else has graduated, and Brian's there as a senior, and his supporting cast is very good, maybe not as good as it has been. They had a receiver go to the NFL 2 years ago. That's pretty good, right? Is that okay?
That's really good.
And so they've had some really good players around him, and they're still very good, maybe not NFL good. And so Brian, doesn't have quite the supporting cast, but their running back is also really good. In fact, they have 3 just outstanding seniors that are as good as anyone. Jeremiah Robertson, the running back, is really outstanding. 4 100-yard games, 2 in a row of 150 yards or more. Very good. And then Anton Clark, their outside linebacker, is second in the conference behind our Garrett Womack in sacks. Very disruptive, blitzes a lot, causes a lot of havoc. So they're getting a lot of mileage out of their senior class. Because they're a fairly young football team, certainly more young than they've had. They had a period at East Texas Baptist where they had 4 different head coaches in 4 years. And so I think over time that can take its toll. Their retention hasn't maybe quite been as good as it would be if you'd had the same coach for a long time. So they've got a small senior class, but they certainly have 3 players that are as good as anyone in their running back, quarterback, and their outside linebacker.
Well, Southwestern, of course, 3rd in the conference as far as their rushing offense, over 226 yards per game. East Texas Baptist, they rank 7th in their rushing defense, giving up just over 200 yards a game. The rushing game has been so critical. How important is it in this matchup?
Well, it's critical for a lot of reasons, and you talked about some of that. We're 25th in the nation in rushing offense. Despite all the fumbles, despite the 5 different quarterbacks we played, we're still in the top 25 in rushing. And they're 204th out of 245 teams. So hopefully this can be a week where our ability to control the ball and our ability to rest our defense, Nick talked about it. Those guys are on the field a ton. When you turn the ball over 8 times, your defense is just going out, and they're going out, and they're going out. And so a lot of some of the lack of energy maybe is, as Nick talked about, is understandable. It's tough to go back out that many times. So hopefully our rushing offense can continue to protect the ball and move the football and really get things going. The other way to look at it, too, is right now we're 11th in the nation in third down defense. We've done a really good job. We talked a little bit about we're giving up a little bit more rushing yards than we like to have. On first down, we love to hold them to negative yards or 1 or 2 yards rushing. We're giving up 3 or 4. So a little bit of a bleed there, but when it comes to third down defense, we're doing a pretty good job of getting off the field. Uncharacteristically for these guys, they're 201st in third downs. Again, that's at 245. So they really have struggled on third downs, and we've been really good. So hopefully that can be something that we can really look to for a turning point, is if they get a little bit of success, they're going to complete some passes. It's going to be 1st and 10, and Brian Baca is going to throw and complete a pass for 15 yards. It's going to happen 6, 8, 10 times throughout the game. But if we can get them into third down situations, hopefully the track records can hold, that we're going to be one of the better teams in the country on third down defense, and they're going to struggle a little bit on third down and throw some incompletions. And that can be a place where hopefully we can turn the tide of the game.
Coach, as you're well aware of, still battling quite a few injuries. It's been that situation the entire season. It seems like, and that takes away time because you're having to spend time training these other guys that come into positions, and you're having to really go through things with them instead of going over maybe what plays need to be worked on with players who are healthy. You're having to bring in the new players in turn of the injuries. Kind of your thoughts on that, Coach?
Well, Jesse Blanchard, our sports information director, asked me a similar question. I think my comment was something along the lines of we've been just plugging holes, right? Mm-hmm. The dam keeps leaking, so let's plug a linebacker in, let's plug a safety in, let's plug a quarterback in, let's plug a whatever in. Let's move from a 3-man front to a 4-man front. 3 weeks ago, we were a 3-4 defense. Now we have one linebacker left on the field. So we went from having 4 out there to having 1. It's just the way it goes. But I think our players have been really resilient. I think they've taken to what we've been able to do. I think they understand the situation that we're doing everything that we can. I think our coaches have been a really good job in being flexible and playing to our strengths. We always want to, whether we're healthy or not, we're always building our team and building the structure of our schemes around the strengths of our players. And I think you can see the quality of our coaching staff coming through this year and our players, because they've been able to keep up with it. Again, we're going to put out there 5 freshman and sophomore defensive backs against the best quarterback in the country, one of the best in the country. They're going to do well. They're going to force incompletions. They're going to intercept some passes because they're resilient and they take coaching well. And so hopefully we can just have everything come together. I think there's a lot of things that lead to us being able to have a strong game, as you talked about. They're not a great rushing defense. We pride ourselves in being a strong rushing offense. They're not great on third downs. We've been one of the best in the country on third down. So a lot of these things can lead to the fact that we can do really well, despite the fact that we are down in personnel. But I think our guys, if they can come out energized, I think we can do a really nice job this weekend. And they'll like being at home. Been on the road a lot. We've had 4 games. Of course, we're 3-1 on the road, but we've got 2 of our last 3 at home, and hopefully that can be a big boost in the arm also.
Southwestern now 5th in the ASC as we're down the stretch. Just a few games remaining here in this season. Coach, how's the playoff race shaping up?
Well, it's looking really good for Mary Hardin-Baylor, and we'll see what else happens. I think Hardin-Simmons is in the mix. Hardin-Simmons lost a heartbreaker to Mary Hardin-Baylor last week. Mary Hardin-Baylor kicked a last-second field goal, and there's quite the debate on whether they got it off on time and whether it was a legal substitution. Texas Lutheran's right there in it. Texas Lutheran had a game. They forced 6 turnovers against us. We gave them up or they forced them. Call it what you want. The next week they did the same thing to Hardin-Simmons. They created 6 turnovers. So they upset Hardin-Simmons. So they're going to be a team that's going to be they lost their non-conference game, so 8-2 potentially. It's going to be tough for them to beat Mary Hardin-Baylor that last week, but they could end up 8-2. So they're definitely in the playoff conversation. Even if we went out and end up 7-3, and win over Hardin-Simmons, we're still going to be on the outside looking in this year. We lost to some teams that we should have beaten, and there's no doubt about that. And you can't erase it, but it's going to be a year where we're not going to make the postseason.
Well, Coach, it's one of those where I say, despite all these injuries, one positive thing that I see from it, of course, just from the outside looking in a way, is a lot of these young players getting valuable playing experience this season due to those injuries. How important has it been for those guys?
Well, it's important for our future. Of course, I always start this response with, it doesn't matter a whole lot to our seniors, right? I mean, yeah. The fact that we're starting 5 freshman and sophomore defensive backs, they get it. They appreciate that, but they're playing for these last 3 weeks. They have a chance to have 4 straight winning seasons. They've had 6 or 7 wins every year, and they're playing for that now. And we're not thinking it's in our back pockets, in the back of our mind as coaches, but we're not coaching for the future. We're coaching for this week. No. We're trying to give our team every opportunity to win with what we do in practice, with what we do with our strategies, with what we do in our weekly routines of what we do. We play to win the game. There's make no doubt about that. We want to have good men, and we talk about being Southwestern men and doing the right thing. But make no mistake about the fact that we're playing to win football games, and we're doing everything we can to win with the players that are active right now. We want to win right now.
Coach, you've probably answered some of this already, but just to recap, as always, ask every week, keys to victory.
Well, let's not fumble 10 times. Let's not fumble any. That would probably be a good start. As you look at some things, we talked about we're 11th in the nation in third down defense, so that can be important. We're also 7th in the nation in fourth down defense, so we're getting off the field. As I mentioned, East Texas Baptist, they're going to complete some passes. Jeremiah Robertson's going to have some first down runs, but when you get teams into third and fourth down, we're doing a good job of getting off the field. And so I think that's going to be an important thing for us. get Brian off the field. He's really good. So when he gets to 3rd and 4th down, get him off the field. Special teams can be really important. We're 13th in the nation in kickoff coverage, which means we're putting our opponents with the longer fields. East Texas Baptist is one of the bottom of the nation in their punt coverage. So hopefully we can gain a lot of yardage in the kick return game. We're 7th in the nation right now in yards per completion. So if we can complete a pass, we gain a quarter of the field. We're gaining about 25 yards per completion. But with that said, we're one of the worst in the nation right now in completion percentage. So we've struggled more between a combination of a bunch of different quarterbacks and some inconsistencies with catching the football. So I think our passing game is a real wild card here. If we can have a game where we can be, our first game we were about 80% passing. Of course, we had different quarterbacks in that game. But if we can be in that 75-80% range, we can create some really big plays in our passing game. And I think that could be the wild card for our offense, because there's no doubt about it. We're going to attack their rushing defense. They're towards the bottom of the nation, and we're towards the top. We're hoping that we can find an advantage there. If we can add that passing piece onto it, that can really get us over the top. So, long answer. Let's get off the field on 3rd and 4th down, and let's make sure that we can do some things in our passing game to really make us a dynamic offense. That'll go a long ways.
Well, we're looking forward to it, Coach. Of course, that game Saturday, we'll have the action right here on SHN Sports at 1 p.m. We'll go on about 12:45. Hey, I'm excited. I get to call a game finally this season. So
it'll be good to see you.
Looking forward to that. Sam had the week off, and then it just kind of held. Thank you, guys. And Sam had the week off, and it just kind of fell into place to where Brad and Carl were both unavailable this weekend. So very excited to be back there.
Are you going to fire the cannons like Brad does?
I won't fire the cannons. I don't take away his cannon firing. So we'll maybe say raise the flag or something like that, But, Coach, before we go, I wanted to talk about this What a Night fundraiser. I'll let you talk about that, Coach.
That's right.
It's coming
I don't know
up.
if we can. It's for folks in Georgetown. So Whataburger is one of our fantastic corporate partners. They're a platinum level partner. Next Thursday is what they call What a Night. So between 5 and 8, if you go and if you eat at Whataburger, there's going to be some games. They're going to be giving some things away. Chance to win Whataburger for a year. The first 100 dine-in customers will get a special prize, but 20% of their gross or net, I don't know, whatever it says, 20% of their sales, however they count it, is going to go to Southwestern football. And so they do a lot for us already.
That's awesome.
This is icing on the cake. Whataburger is a great supporter of us. So after this show, we're all going to get in the back of somebody's pickup truck. No, I'm just kidding. You can take your own cars. Roger's pickup truck.
Roger's raising
his hand. We're going to go right around here and right down to Whataburger, which is right over our shoulder. And we're going to get some French fries or a shake or a whole dinner. But we're going to go over to What a Night. We picked Thursday night because, as Charles told you, it's Thick Man Thursday. So our offensive line is already spending $1,000 there tonight. So next week we get 20% of that $1,000 that our offensive line spends at Whataburger. So we're already going to have a great night just based on the offensive linemen.
Be kind of cool to do the coach's show over there. That'd be kind of exciting. Maybe we'll see. So the problem is we wouldn't be able to get on with the show though because I'd be eating. So that probably wouldn't be a good idea. Well, Coach, as always, appreciate you. We're really looking forward to the game on Saturday. Very excited about that and looking forward to it. So we'll have that action coming up at 1 o'clock. Again, catch it on SHN Sports. And by the way, if you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You'll know as soon as we go live. But again, thank you to everybody for coming out. One more time for the Sheraton. Thank you guys for hosting us. Go Pirates as we look to take care of business versus East Texas Baptist University. For Coach Joe Austin, I'm Rob Hipp, Mickey Holden, as well as Nathan Height and all of our SHN family, reminding you tonight we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement, friends. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there tonight needs you. Good night, and God bless from Georgetown, Texas. We'll see you Saturday. Go Pirates.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, and happy Halloween. We'll see you then.